Good afternoon. Health and Human Service meeting will come to order. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Baker McCormick. Commissioner Marecki.
Here.
Commissioner Anderson. Chair Scott.
Present.
You have a quorum present.
I don't know. You might have called my name, but I'm here.
I thought your name was Quorum. No.
Next item, please.
B, Chairwoman's remarks.
I have none. Next item. please.
C, approval of the January 9th, 2024 meeting minutes.
Yeah, I'm moving those, Madam Chair.
Support.
Thank you. Moved by Commissioner Colleen, supported by Commissioner Anderson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries. Next item, please.
D, unfinished business. There is none listed.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 1, under new business, forwarding a report by the jail division on the amount of medical insurance reimbursements collected, comparing the results from fiscal year 2021-22 to fiscal year 2022-23.
All right, Ms. McCants.
Good afternoon. Through the chair, Ebony McCann, Department of Health, Human Veteran Services. In front of you, you have the report on Medicaid insurance reimbursement that has been prepared pursuant to the procurement ordinance. The report compares the number of jail inmates who received inpatient care for fiscal year 22 versus fiscal year 2023. The charges were redirected to Medicaid, so these funds have not caused any impact to our general fund ledger.
Thank you. Any questions? Commissioner Colleen?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to take a look at this budget instruction again. I think this came around, I forget what year it came around. But there's been some changes in the county since we first requested this. For any medical services provided in the jail. And folks would have Medicaid and the county would get reimbursed for that.
The county is not reimbursed. We charge, the total
That's
expenditures.
outside the jail.
Yes, for
Right.
inpatient care.
Yeah, it used to be we weren't able to charge outside the jail. Right, that we would bear all of the costs if people got medical services outside the jail.
This, we are
Right.
now reimbursing, we are now billing the individual
Right,
inmates.
and now we've
Yes.
done a real good job.
Yes.
In making sure everybody's signed up
Correct.
when they come in the jail so that we can get that reimbursement. I see, I copied off, but I didn't bring it. I believe 2 years ago it was 2.3 we got reimbursed and the last one was 3.3 million. So what I'm wondering is, Madam Chair, if we still need to get this report, I think we fixed the reason we were asking for the report in budget instructions. So I would just suggest we take a look at that and see if this is still a report, given that we've changed things, and that we are getting the reimbursement now, because there was a lot of money that was going out the door that way. But now that we've got everybody signed up and we continue to do that. So I'm just putting out that request. Maybe staff can look and see, is this still really a necessary thing to get? But it's good to see. Thank you,
I
Madam
think
Chair.
it would be good to see. Thank you. Anyone, any other questions? Thank you, Ms. McCants.
Thank you.
Motion to receive and file, Madam Chair.
It's been moved by Commissioner Colleen, supported by Commissioner Marecki. All in favor?
Well, Anderson.
Any opposed? It will be received and filed. Next item. Madam Clerk.
Item 2, requesting commission approval of the reappointment of William A. Phillips to the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network Board.
Okay, is Mr. Phillips here?
He changed his name.
He wears many hats.
Good afternoon, commissioners. I know I did walk up like I was Mr. Phillips, but I'm not. I'm Darcel Brown, legislative liaison for the Wayne County Executive's Office. Mr. Phillips will, so I'll back up a little bit, but for items 2 and 3, they are appointments of Mr. William Phillips and Wayne County Commissioner Jonathan C. Kinlock to the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network Board. These appointments are under the purview of the executive to appoint. Mr. Phillips will not be present today, but he will be present at full board. If you all have any questions for him, I can take those and have him prepared to answer those at the next Thursday's meeting.
Okay. All right. I guess we could take both of those together if it's all right with you all. Be separate? Okay, all right. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Commissioner
Item
Anderson.
2 for approval, Madam Chair. Since we take them separately.
Okay, is there support for item 2? Okay. By Commissioner Marecki is supporting, Commissioner Cleans made the motion. All in favor? Any opposes? Hearing none. Did you want to speak on it or not?
Commissioner Anderson voted no.
I just wanted to say I voted no when it was first brought before us, and I'm still in the same position because
Okay.
of past action
All right.
things taken professionally.
Okay. All right. Is there anyone else that's opposed to it? So all in favor?
We got them. It's up on the board.
Oh, it's up.
Motion
I
carried.
keep
board.
forgetting how,
The board.
yeah, the board. All
I
right.
know some days we have it, some days we don't.
Yeah, all right. Thank you. Motion carries. Next item.
Item 3, requesting commission approval of the reappointment of Wayne County Commissioner Jonathan Kinlock to the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network Board.
All in favor?
I
We have a motion by Commissioner Baker McCormick and a support by Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next item, please. Thank you, Oh, Lord. Okay.
Item 4, a resolution by Commissioners Baker McCormick and Colleen strongly encouraging the adoption of legislation that would limit idling by commercial motor vehicles, which is aimed at reducing exposure to toxic pollutants and improving the respiratory health of residents.
Do you want to speak on that, Commissioner McCormick?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So diesel trucks, buses, and other commercial motor vehicles that are idle, not only are they a nuisance to residents, but also create dangerous and serious health and environmental risks. Idling a vehicle releases harmful chemical gases and particular matters in the air. And it also contributes to poor air quality. And the American Lung Association in 2023 State of the Air report revealed that Wayne County received a F grade for its ozone, air pollution, and particle pollution. The Wayne County Commission is concerned for the health and welfare of residents who are exposed to excessive motor vehicle exhaust, which rises risk of asthma, lung cancer, and other diseases. The Wayne County Commission is committed to decreasing our carbon footprint within the county and the adverse effects on the planet that idling causes. So we are encouraging Wayne County residents and drivers of diesel motor vehicles to turn off their engines immediately, as frequent as possible, at areas such as schools, parking lots, airports, train station, and other locations. The Wayne County Commission supports maintenance of municipal vehicles to eliminate exhaust fumes and ensure that there's an annual inspection for vehicles. The commission also supports educational initiatives to inform the public about the dangers of idling and toxic gas fumes. And so we would like this copy to be, a copy of this resolution to be provided to the supervisors and mayors and to the state senators, representatives, and the various committees as well. So I stand in support of this resolution, and I hope that my colleagues will support it as well.
Thank you. Commissioner Kleen? Any further?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I support this as well. This is an issue that's been kicking around for an awful long time. Been concerns about buses idling outside of schools, picking up and dropping off kids, and then the buses just sit there and idle. I know, and Dr. Al Sayed will remember some of this better than I did. Down on the southwest side, down by the bridges where there's a lot of talk of the intermodal. And I don't know how much of that actually developed, but the neighborhood down there was real concerned because there's where they wanted to match trucks to trains for the container shipping. And people were like, I can't have all these trucks idling right in my neighborhood while they're waiting for it. That was a real issue, and I don't know how that stands today. But I think just the general notion that if you don't have to be running those diesel engines, you just don't leave them idling, which is the thrust of this resolution. And I think the education is great, and the leadership is great. So thank you, Commissioner, for bringing this, and I support it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Maraki?
Thank you. And through the chair to my colleagues, so is this an impending bill in Lansing? And what would be consequences of someone letting their truck run as they made a Amazon delivery to a house?
Right. So there is legislation that is, I'm not sure where it's at in the legislature, but there is a idling resolution or some resolution or legislation that pertains to it. What the ramifications will be, that is not something that that would be the legislators to really say what we could do or what the penalties would be. And so we didn't address that in this. We just want the public to know that it is an issue and that Wayne County is looking at the issue, and we're looking to educate the public and want to make sure that the public is aware that this is something that harms us. So.
Thank you.
So there needs to be a bill or something in order for.
Right. And again, there is some movement on legislation. Again, I'm not sure where it is right now, but I can definitely find out for
We
you.
need to know that and what the bill number is.
Yeah.
And this can support it.
Right. Well, this wasn't really in support of a bill. This was just bringing awareness to the issue that we have in Wayne County and to support efforts and to let the legislature know that we support those efforts wherever they're going with this. So, yeah. Did you?
Okay.
Oh.
Dr. Syed?
Well, yeah, I was going to ask
Mm.
Dr. Syed, head of our health department, for input he has on this. And I know you also kind of have a long history with this issue. So I'd like to ask what you can add to the discussion.
Abdul Al Sayed, Director, Health Officer, Department of Health, Human and Veteran Services, Wayne County. Thank you. I'm going to offer you a couple of thoughts. I didn't expect to be testifying on this today, so I haven't prepared anything, but
Oh.
let me offer a bit of perspective. We know that that many of our communities, particularly Southwest Detroit, downriver, that the quality of air in those communities is some of the worst in Michigan, frankly, some of the worst in the country. We know that a lot of that is driven by the confluence of transit pollution and industrial pollution. And we know that that maps to worse health consequences that sit downstream of poor air quality, whether you're talking about lung cancer, asthma rates, chronic lung disease, and any impact that we can have to reduce that burden would be to the benefit of the community. There are also empirical questions when it comes to automotive traffic. And I think it's important to think a bit about the concentration of poor air quality and the cumulative impact of multiple idling vehicles on the lungs of children in particular, but anybody who lives in these air sheds. And at the same time, match that against the broader impact of potentially changing traffic patterns that would actually require more net pollution. And so I would advise this body, and I'd advise, frankly, any lawmakers looking at this, to balance those against each other. If we know that the disproportionate impact sits on communities, there's a very good reason to try and regulate traffic patterns or what vehicles may do because of those cumulative impacts. And let's be clear, we know those impacts are, they affect communities that tend to be disproportionately Black and brown because of structural racism and the choices that have been made in the past. That said, if there's a way to do that without affecting traffic patterns in such a way that you have a higher net overall release of greenhouse gases, that would be the ideal circumstance. I do think that, thinking through idling in particular, especially on our bridges, is a really important goal. I will say that the project that this body passed via Just Air will help us to get a much more granular view of exactly what the air quality consequences of this looks like. Obviously, you can't necessarily differentiate between pollution that comes out of the tailpipe of a car versus pollution that comes out of the smokestack of a factory. But understanding what is affecting folks is critical. Finally, I will say, I do think, just as we think about this, that there would be some value as we think about what could be done toward actually putting pen to paper around what what we would like our state legislature to be working on. This is a multi-community issue. Even when you think about the worst air quality, you're talking about that space between River Rouge and the city of Detroit, and of course Wayne County. Thinking about the state's impact there. So I do think that could be a really important potential way forward. And while I'm here waxing philosophical and you ask me my opinion, I do think that potentially advising and working with state legislators so that this resolution could have some teeth and that we're really focused on exactly what it is we're looking at while remaining conscious of the potential trade-offs, I think is really critical.
Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Syed. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Commissioner
thank you,
Khalid.
Madam Chair. And the doc kind of hinted at it. There's some calls about this that are not necessarily that easy to make. And so you have to look at, it's easy. You got an elementary, middle school, and there's 20, 30 buses out there idling in front of it. That's an easy call. If you're coming northbound I-75 out of downriver at the right time of day, you can have 40, 50 trucks still on the freeway waiting to get on the bridge. Well, asking them to shut off their engines while they're still sitting on I-75 might be a bit difficult. So I don't know if there's ways, and this is where I think discussing with the legislature, if there's ways of dealing with that, but I think the overall nature that we have, especially with the diesel trucks out there, that we have a lot of people idling when they don't need to. And it adds to so parsing out how to regulate that is not necessarily simple, but I think it's a worthy goal. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Well, I think it's something that would be useful if we got a legislator to start working on this. That's what has to be done. Because I think when we were in the legislature, it was all about the roads, how they were tearing up the roads and stuff. But their lobbyists were so strong that we couldn't do it. So hopefully we can do something about this, because I know that I'm glad finally that incinerator is gone, because I know that there were children that lived around there that was just had so many health issues and that. So it's a good idea, but it's something that you've got to get somebody to really work on it in the legislature.
That's the goal.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. All right, so all in favor of this resolution? Motion,
We have a motion by Commissioner Baker McCormick and a support by Commissioner Colleen.
all in favor? Any opposed? Hearing, okay, one opposition,
Who opposed? Commissioner Markey, thank you.
Commissioner Marecki. Okay,
Motion
right.
carried.
okay. So motion is carried though, however. Okay, next item, please.
F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
I don't know of any. Anyone have anything else they want to discuss? Hearing none, next item, please.
G, public comments.
Anyone in the public wishing to make a statement? I don't see anyone left out here. But so is there anyone on the line? You have anyone?
No one on Zoom.
Okay, all right. All right. Then the next item, please.
Adjournment.
Madam Chair.
Moved by Commissioner Colleen, supported by Commissioner Marecki. All in favor of leaving this meeting? All right.
Sure.
All right.